Greetings RC friends, we are on our local COVID-19 family vacation in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It's going to be a short one, but we are at a very nice location. We are staying at a beach resort here, but today, as you can see, it looks a little iffy. However, I came prepared. So recently I placed a lot of orders through Banggood and through eBay, and I received several packages and I grabbed 3 of them. I also brought another heli to review. So I have a lot to do here. I also brought my handy utility knife. So let's pick up one of the boxes and start the unboxing. This is the lucky one. All right. Let's see what do we have inside, right? Oh, okay. So it looks like this is the one of the RTF ultra micro flyers that I ordered from Banggood.com. In my previous videos, I think it was for the Sport Cup 500, I mentioned I'll be getting several of these. So this is one of them. It is the 400 series, meaning that its wingspan is 400mm warbird. This is from Eachine. They have several models, and so I ordered these 2. I still have to order this one, the Mustang, but the Corsair and Trojan I ordered. I'm not sure which one is inside this one. I'm assuming it may be the Trojan, but I may be wrong. It says it's 2 batteries included. I'm really excited about this one because I expect these to be a great flying machines. I am a big fan of park flyers because you can fly them anywhere without scaring people, without disturbing people. Small parks, baseball fields, even tennis courts if you are skilled. I think I opened it upside down. Let's rotate this around. Okay, so this is the Corsair one. So it's this one, F4U Corsair. What do we have inside? We have the user manual. We'll take a look later. Looks like it's nicely packed. Let's get rid of this packaging tape quickly, so it's not in the way. There are 2 styrofoam inserts. And here is our airplane, all in one piece except the landing gear. Looks very cool. Hopefully it will fly cool as well. And I have seen this type of setup before for the ailerons, just one servo going outside at an angle to both ailerons from the midsection. Volantex RC Sport Cup 500 that I reviewed a couple weeks ago had the same setup, but in that case these control rods were coming from inside because the plane was a high-wing plane and it was coming from the sides inside. So on this one, this is on the bottom and outside. So one thing I can tell about this is you have to be careful when landing without landing gear. If you are landing on tall grass, this should be fine. But if you are on dirt or something or gravel, it may be a good idea to put the landing gear on, although it might just flip over when it's landed, because otherwise this is going to kind of catch with all that gravel and dirt. So I would not recommend landing it in that type of conditions. Tall grass, even medium-sized grass should be fine. I really love these warbirds because although they are small, they usually look very scale when flying. Especially this has the 6G 3D option, which means that it has, as you can see, it has the beginner mode, the mid mode, which is the intermediate, and the expert mode. I have seen exactly the same thing on also the Sport Cup 500. and it had the same type of control. So when you pull it all the way to yourself, you're in the beginner mode. It only gives you a certain amount of bank and roll angles, and it won't let you do any like flips or rolls. In the intermediate mode, it still controls the roll, but you can use the elevator to do loops, and that it will let you do that. And then the expert mode, I think it turns off the nannies completely, so there's no stabilization. And on the Sport Cub, it completely became a different plane, very difficult to control on that mode. We'll see about this one. But the beginner intermediate modes were so good that my younger son was able to fly it, right, Kaya?
Yeah.
And then he likes actually that Volantex RC airplane, that's a Sport Cub 500. And this looks like it's using a very similar, if not identical, radio. And here they put the little battery. I think this is the second battery inside the battery compartment of the transmitter. It takes 4 AA batteries. I bought some batteries with me, so I'm all set. Once the weather gets a little better, I should be able to go outside on the lawn and then fly this and do a review. If not, we may have to wait until I get back home from vacation. And as I mentioned, I ordered with 2 batteries. It came with 2 batteries, and the second one is nicely tucked in the battery compartment here. What else do we have in the package? More tape, so that the contents did not get shifted around, sloshing around. That's a good thing. I always like when everything is secured inside these boxes, because you don't know what conditions they'll be shipped in. So they are coming from China, and they can be tossed around quite a bit. So as on the Volantex RC, this has that special prop adapter, as you can see here. And I can show you on this one. So the good thing about this is if you crash the plane nose first, and you know, this should pop off like this, comes off very easily. And then you just basically pick this up. If it's not broken, just line it up and then it clicks in. It is a great way of saving the prop as well as the motor. So I really like this system, the prop attachment system. And then we have here in this little bag the ubiquitous handy-dandy little Phillips screwdriver. If I can open this. And on this one, we have a matching color, matching to our plane, a blue one. What else do we have? We have the main landing gear, 2 of them, one right, one left. Assuming this is going to go underneath, under each wing. And then a couple extra screws. Maybe not extra, probably these will be for securing the landing gear here. Maybe you need one, and then they provided 2. I see these holes here. See about that. And finally, the charger for the battery that attaches to any USB port on your computer, or if you have a charger, that will be it. I'm glad I didn't drop this one. So there's one more piece actually. I didn't see it. But this is a spare adapter for the, I'm assuming it's for the motor side. So they provided this one, and the prop has its own adapter. So this will, if you lose or manage to destroy the other one on the motor, then you can replace it as well. Do we have anything else? No, that's it. So very nice package. I'm going to put it on charge, and then I will install the landing gear, and it will be ready to go. We'll be just waiting for nice weather outside. I started charging one of the LiPo batteries on my little LiPo charger. It has a USB port with 2.4 amp output. So while it's charging, I'm going to start setting up the airplane. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in the landing gear, because I don't want to land on the servo and the control rods. So in order to put these on, if you look here, you will see it is kind of like L-shaped at the end, and this tip goes into a hole here. Let me try to show you close by. So here you have a hole right over here on the back side. So that tip of the L goes in there, and the long arm of the L goes into that slot flush, and then you put one of these little screws that came in. There were 4 of those to hold it in place. So this one goes in. I like to these side facing out, so you can do it either way, but I like this side facing out with the linkage inside. So as you see, kind of goes in flush over here. It's flush in that plastic area, and then I'm just going to put the screw in. The wheel is kind of in the way, but if you do it from the inside here, it's a little easier than doing outside. So it's nice and tight. And now the second one. Again, this goes into the hole, flush. And by the way, it came with 2 extra screws. It's a good thing. I always like spare parts like now. I almost dropped the little screw and it went. Usually when the screws fall on the floor, they disappear. So if I were at home, I would have magnetized this screwdriver so that it will hold the screw in place while I'm trying to maneuver it in front of the camera. Okay, so the airplane is on its feet or landing gear. Now, I told you I came prepared. My AA batteries that I purchased bulk from Amazon. Was great. I just need 4. Turns on. Beeping and red light is good news. It's turning on. Now what I'm going to do is take the second battery out of that compartment. Pull it out. It's really tight. I mean, it's good thing and bad thing at the same time. Good thing it's not going to slosh around, move around when you're flying. But the bad thing is if you want to use another type of battery, maybe a little larger, it's going to be very difficult to fit. And you need to have really good fingers to put this in. But it's nice and tight, so it won't be moving around. So I'm going to just take the partially charged battery. Let's put this other one in for charging. And I just want to test the surfaces. Want to make sure that everything is working as they should. This goes in. And it's always a guessing game which one comes on first. By the way, I was looking at the user manual. The English is quite good. There are some typos, but it is everything is easy to understand. So for example, just showing you 2 typos side by side. Never cover waning labels. They're trying to say warning labels. So there may be more typos like this, but other than that, the sentences are built well, and everything looks like English, reads like English, not just something that has been translated from Chinese using Google Translate. The instruction manual says that for binding the airplane to the transmitter, you have to connect the battery to the plane first and then turn on the transmitter, and that will take care of that binding process. You have to make sure that you are keeping the throttle at the lowest position. Also, the airplane needs to be the level ground and not moving so that the gyro initializes correctly. But I'm assuming that this came bound to this transmitter from the factory. I'm going to go ahead and then do the operation. So for operating it, just turning on the plane and starting to operate it with the transmitter, you just power on the transmitter first, but then it says within 3 seconds you have to connect the battery. So that's going to be a little challenging. So you have to get everything ready, battery connector close to the other end on the plane, and then just get going. So let me do that. So the throttle is at the lowest position. I'm going to have the battery ready here. I'm going to rotate this connector so it's really tight in here. I'm going to readjust the location of this battery, so maybe it will be better this orientation, so it will give me a little more room in terms of maneuvering this cable. So it should be going in like this. I'm going to make it ready and then turn on the transmitter. Well, it has been longer than 3 seconds. Let's see, it's going to bind anyway. So let's see. They look good. And then to initialize the motor, you have to go, I'm going to hold it just in case, go all the way up, throttle 1 beep, and then back down, and it is good to go. In the beginner mode, it's starting to level it a little earlier, and it lets you bank almost like 45-degree angle in the intermediate. And expert mode, no nannies, it's doing nothing, it's all you now. It's all you. By the way, I really like when the manufacturers give us boxes like this with a carrying handle on top, because it makes transportation so much easier. You can fit everything back in, and then you're just carrying using this one instead of like trying to hold on to it or putting in a bag. So it's a thumbs plus for that to Eachine. So the setup is done. I think we are ready for doing the flight testing as soon as the weather clears and we have some time. All right, see you out on the field.